and welcome to this edition of the National Debate. I'm Madhavdas Gopalakrishnan. Viewers, from the Hindi imposition charge to the delimitation process, leaders from southern states have raised multiple concerns over the course of the week as the winter session of Parliament goes on. Earlier this week, a YSRCP MP appealed for holding a Parliament session in the south, calling it as a symbolic gesture of national unity and decentralization. On the other hand, you have several leaders who have cited concerns over the declining population in southern states and how their population control measures could end up negatively impacting those states. Could this delimitation process that's expected in 2026 give the southern states fewer seats in the Lok Sabha in terms of representation simply because they did a better job in enforcing population control measures? Multiple senior leaders from southern states have also repeatedly alleged that Hindi is being imposed on them. However, earlier this week, the finance minister spoke of how she was mocked for learning Hindi. She claimed that she was stopped from learning the language and political support is being given to such actions. So are the southern states really being treated unfairly as they suggest, or are such claims being only made to divide and gain political mileage? Let's introduce our guests joining us today. We have Shehzad Poonawalla, National Spokesperson of BJP. We have Deepak Reddy, National Spokesperson of TDP, who is joining us from outside the studio. R. Rajgopalan, Senior Journalist, is joining us on the show. We have Dr. Pulla Rao, Political Analyst, joining us inside our studio. Pankaj Sharma, Political Analyst, is also with us. With us also is Vivek Silas, National Spokesperson of Samajwadi Party. Selam Dhanidharan, Spokesperson of DMK, will also be joining us shortly. But let's take a quick look at what really is the debate and what really are we discussing at this point of time. The first set of graphics that we have is a statement that was made by Madhavdas Gopalakrishnan, a YSRCP MP. He's demanded that the climate in Delhi impacts daily functioning of Parliament, and he's written to the Union Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju to hold Parliament sessions in South. He says the harsh winter chill and scorching summer in the national capital has in fact forced him to write this particular letter. Says it's difficult for MPs and Parliament officials to work efficiently in the harsh weather. Also saying that these sessions would bring Parliament closer to people of the region, and he's talking about sessions being held in South India. He also says the move will foster a greater sense of inclusion. Now, this is as far as Madhavdas Gopalakrishna's letter is concerned. He also talks about national unity and decentralization as well as some of the advantages of this particular move if it does happen, saying that it will show Parliament is truly a body that represents the entire country. That really is the statement that is being spoken about. Let's quickly take this across to some of our panelists joining us. Let me start with you first, Shehzad. Is this something that, in theory at least, is an ideal thought? Because we must remember that this is something that has been discussed by B.R. Ambedkar. Former Prime Minister Vajpayee has also discussed the idea, or said that he was open to the idea of a Parliament session being held outside of Delhi.
First of all, this is an idea that has been toyed with or has been spoken of in the Constituent Assembly, and the question is today that one thing has been accepted, that Delhi's air pollution, thanks to Aam Aadmi Party, is such that now people are considering that for some of the part we should be outside Delhi. Having said that, on this thing there should be a consensus, but question is that why for 60-65 years when there was an opportunity, and nowadays when the Congress Party, especially Karti Chidambaram, has taken this up, I want to ask that when Ambedkar Ji had actually asked for two capitals, Ambedkar Ji had said that let us have Parliament session outside Delhi. Why was he overruled? Secondly, 1959, a private member's bill was also brought. Rightly spoken by you that Mr. Vajpayee had supported the proposal, but in 1959 when a private member's bill was brought, Congress MPs opposed it, and Nehru ji himself was in opposition for this, and he had cited various examples. Today has the Congress Party done a U-turn on that? Because Congress Party has a habit of doing a U-turn on UCC, on CA, on GST, on One Nation, One Election. Finally, the Congress Party must also tell us that today, when they are using this as an excuse to show that, look, we are for federal structure, they must not forget that Article 356 was imposed maximum number of times by them, and under emergency, they were the ones who had stifled the entire rights of the states in a very big way. So they should not be using this example to say, because their own track record on this is dicey.
All right. Let me bring in fact, Mr. Pankaj Sharma on that. Pankaj Sharma, how would you respond? Because they will say that these are proposals that could have been done during the Congress regime, not implemented despite the proposal coming up even in Parliament and the Constituent Assembly. Your MPs are now talking about supporting this proposal. Why was it not done when the Congress was in power? Please respond to the BJP.
See, if this couldn't be done during Congress regimes, let's do it now. What is the harm? There should be a beginning. As an idea, it's a good idea. And why only in South? Parliament session should be held in Northeast also, maybe in Manipur. So North, South, West, East, in 4 directions, we can have Parliament sessions. There is no harm in it. BJP government must go ahead with this.
Just one line. Since he's saying it is a very good idea to do it in all parts, so Nehruji rejected good ideas?
See, I don't know what were the reasons then. If Nehruji did something wrong, why should you do the same thing?
I am not saying that.
See,
Nehruji has done wrong, you first accept that. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
According to you, Nehruji is responsible.
No.
for
Nehruji
all,
is not responsible for anything.
all the wrongs in this country.
Nehruji should be prayed to every day. But having said that, Mr. Chidambaram's son has now said that this should be done. Can I request you to tell me that when Chidambaram Ji was Home Minister for so many years, how many times he moved the proposal for this?
You should ask this Karti Chidambaram.
Why you are not representing Congress point of view?
No, I don't represent Congress point of view.
So you think
I don't
he's a
represent
hypocrite?
Congress.
Okay.
You think
let me bring in now some of our other panelists.
Mr.
Deepak
Chidambaram is a
Reddy,
hypocrite?
one by one.
You can say whatever you
Let me
want.
bring in some of the other panelists. Deepak Reddy, is this a proposal that you would support? It's of course your rival party, the YSRCP, that has in fact made this particular proposal, but do you think that it is in theory at least something that should be done? And what would you demand would be the reasons? Do you agree with the fact that bringing in a session inside the South and it can be done in any assembly as the YSRCP MP has proposed? Would you support it?
A very good afternoon to everybody. As a party, we haven't yet taken a detailed stand on this, but Chandrababu Naidu ji in earlier days has welcomed similar such ideas. Because if you see, a lot of people from the South feel the distance to Delhi. So if something like this can be taken up, probably they would feel more closer to the administration, and the distance of the tyranny of distance can be reduced. What's most important here, Madhav, I would like to point out the MP quoting the pollution levels in Delhi. So Aam Aadmi and the Indie ecosystem should be ashamed after such complaints being coming from the MPs, because they want to go to safer locations quoting pollution. So they have to take responsibility and make use of these sessions, at least talk about the problems what the people of Delhi are facing. This is one thing which has to be highlighted. Yes, people from the South, from all the states, across the parties are actually happy with an idea if Parliament can be held in the South, because they would feel more involved into the larger system of our democracy.
Okay, let me bring in Dr. Pullarao. Dr. Pullarao, it's an ideal thought, but there are some challenges with it, logistical challenges and also cost challenges. Remember, it's not going to be cheap to hold a parliament session outside of Delhi. We have a new parliament which was built at a cost of about 900 to 1,000 crores. Is it really worth putting this on the exchequer once again?
I think more than the exchequer, it's trivializing the whole idea of parliament. Parliament is one of those permanent things. It has to be there. The only time parliament houses have been shifted in recent memory is when there was war in Europe and other places. As the invading armies came, they shifted parliament. There is no such condition here. And as my good friend Mr. Sharma said, you go to Manipur, it can't be a traveling circus. It has to have permanence. In fact, I oppose the idea when you shifted from the old parliament building, for various reasons they shifted, I'm not going into that is 75 years. You have parliament houses across the world which are 200, 300, 400 years. There must be a permanency in these institutions. And idea is good, idea sounds good, we all discuss it. But where do you go from here? You have a session every month somewhere? You make it a temporary show? I firmly believe that if you want to reduce our institutions' strength, memory, you should go on to these things. Let it be here, it's only 75 years. Let it be here for another 100 years. There's no war. There's nothing. To say climate is not good.
No, but there are states where there are shifting legislatures. And Mr. Rajgopal, there is a state of Maharashtra where the session happens in Nagpur. In Bangalore, in Karnataka, we know the session also happens in Belgaum. In Jammu Kashmir, there's the shifting of the entire Darbar, not only the legislature, the entire, secretariat shifts. So there is a precedent to this. It's not something that is completely alien to us.
That is concerned about the state assemblies, Madhav. My understanding is, having covered the parliament, me and Pankaj used to cover at least 40 years, we both have covered. My understanding is, then capital also be shift kar do. What is the joke? Mr. Ramurthy, first time MP, I don't know whether he is a second time MP, but he should have at least thought about it. For Olympics, Mr. Madhav, for 2036, India is going to bid. 12 years before, Mr. Narendra Modi wanted Olympics to be played in India. Similarly, it takes 10 years to build a parliament or a capital or something. Therefore, it should be an all-party decision. It's not only the Congress or BJP or whatever. Second, I definitely go with Shehzad Poonawalla. Why should Congress kept quiet for the last 65 years? They should have also tried it. And the same YSR Congress, born out of Congress, should also be, articulating the subject. At least, dur aaye, durust aaye, they should also think about it. Totally, after Narendra Modi came to power from 2014, all Directors General of Police Conference is shifting from one place to another place.
Yes.
Mr. Narendra Modi took it, and moreover, foreign dignitaries. China's president went to Tamil Nadu. So therefore, this all can be done, but not the parliament.
Okay.
Parliament, security, and moreover, you have an attack. Recently, the CSF taken over. CSF taken over, the MPs are also not happy with that. So therefore, security concern, staff concern. There are 700 employees in parliament. You can't be transporting them every now and then. First of all, will Chandrababu Naidu agree to hold it in Amaravati or any other place, or DMK for that matter? They may say South being discouraged or discriminated.
DMK spokesperson
but
is
DMK will not allow South India Parliament because their MPs, they don't do anything in Parliament.
Okay.
They come and
let's
they
ask
sit
him.
rather.
Let's ask him. Salem Dhanidharan is with us. Salem
Recently,
Dhanidharan.
the Tamil
Here
Nadu
you have
had
Mr. Rajgopalan saying
havoc.
that you will not.
They did not reflect it in Parliament.
Yeah,
they went after Adani only.
Let's get him in. Salem Dhanidharan, will you agree for such a session to be held in Chennai? Because Mr. Rajgopal believes that you will not allow for such a session to be held in Chennai. Your response to him?
No, see, I think Rajagopalan not representative of the Tamil Nadu people. Only because of parliamentarians did a fantastic job, which is why we won all the seats in the 2024 election also. Like in 29, we won 39 out of 40, and this time we won 40 out of 40. It is only because of the trust the people of Tamil. So see, 39, we won 39, now we won 40, right? So it's because people have trust. In democracy, where do we get the legitimacy from? From the people. So people has given us a mandate. Let that be respected. But the DMK stance actually has been, even on the Supreme Court, we've always been requesting the Supreme Court one branch to be in Chennai. There's been a long-standing demand. But I think, see, there is already a democracy deficit in this country, right? We all feel that everything is centralized from Delhi. Delhi is 2,500 kilometers from Tamil Nadu. West to east, from Rajasthan to Mizoram is about another 3,000 kilometers. Kanyakumari to Kashmir is about 3,000 kilometers. So why not have one parliament in Tamil Nadu also, which means that decision making is closer to the people of the south, which means that the legitimacy for the of the lawmakers will also increase. See, one thing is to win election and get legitimacy, other thing is to be heard and have legitimacy. So what, 10 seconds more, rather important point. European Union Parliament, 3 weeks happens in where? 3 weeks happens in Brussels, Belgium. 1 week happens in Strasbourg, France. So even the European Union Parliament has 2 locations. Similarly, South Africa, there are 3 different capitals in South Africa. I can give you number of examples like this.
So
fair point. I think it's not a bad idea.
Fair point. I want Mr. Rajgopal to respond to you on that.
We can't think about expenditure. When it comes to democracy, you can't speak about expenditure.
Okay. All valid points, Mr. Rajgopal.
Can Tamil Nadu Assembly be held in Coimbatore or Trichy? Can Tamil Nadu Assembly be held in Trichy or Coimbatore? Can Mr. DMK representative should say that? Because they want to have only in Tamil Nadu, Chennai. Why they are not shifting to another district? They should also do district development.
You should practice what you preach, Salem. He says, why not have a separate assembly session in the southern part of the state, which has traditionally felt neglected? Respond to Mr. Rajgopalan.
No, I think you're comparing apples to oranges. The problem here is, the reason why we are asking for 2 capitals is the distance of the country and how diverse the country is. The Tamil Nadu as a state is a small state. So, let's say, will Rajagopal go and say Nagaland should have 2 capitals? Or, for example, Mizoram should have their small states. The question is why we need two capitals is the most important thing. We need 2 capitals because the country is 3,000 kilometers north to south, and west to east is another 3,000 kilometers.
Well, regional imbalances as a concept nationally is Salem Dhanidharan, but it is also a concept in states, and I think different states have that reason.
I don't think so.
Exactly.
Tamil Nadu is size of Sri Lanka. Boss, Tamil Nadu is size of Sri Lanka. See, Tamil Nadu is size of Sri Lanka or slightly bigger. Right. For that, you don't need 2 different capitals. Because people's voice are being heard.
We heard you now, Salem. Shehzad wants to respond to you. Shehzad.
People in Tamil Nadu have not kept their demand.
One by one.
I think you're diverting from that issue. I think the core issue is, in such a big country, you need to have. Right, which is why even European Parliament does it.
Okay. Let me bring in Shehzad now.
Look, I think the principle should be that practice what you preach. He has said democracy centralized. From 1970 onwards, who has been the president of DMK party?
MK Stalin,
Okay.
MK Stalin.
Only one family.
MK
So
Stalin,
centralization of political power in the party is perfectly fine, but decentralization of democracy is their slogan. Okay, very good. Now, relative scale, Chennai to Delhi distance, he's saying is about 2,000 kilometers. On a relative scale, the distance between Tuticorin and Chennai is 600 kilometers. Imagine in the state. So now they have complete power. They agree with the idea and proposal. He must declare on Madhav's show that one session will be done in Tuticorin and one session will be done in Chennai. Then they can come to the center, they can come to the parliament with the proposal. We will be more than happy to consider the proposal. But first, you accept this proposal that Tuticorin people are lesser child of Tamil Nadu. No. So please do it. Please announce.
Tell him.
Please announce.
Tuticorin MP is Kanimori. They won't accept it.
Oh,
That is why you asked him a question. Let him respond now. Yeah.
See, wait, let me speak. See, the intellectual bankruptcy on politics or democracy works baffles me. The reason why such demand has been made is also simply because the language is spoken in south is different, language spoken in the north is different, the culture is different, which is why for increasing the democratic deficit, we are asking, you come and say you keep two district headquarters, all is diverting the issue. The real crux of the issues in people of South India, Delhi is very far away, there's a perception it's centralized. Let me come back to the question on the DMK. First, BJP does it conduct elections to select its president? No. In DMK, we do conduct elections. If people are choosing one person for 50 years, that is people of the party.
Their presidential election is also currently underway, by the way, Dhanidharan. But let me bring in Vivek Salas. Vivek Salas,
Chief Minister.
Yeah.
Why was Shivraj Singh Chauhan? Why was Shivraj Singh Chauhan Chief Minister for 18 years in Madhya Pradesh? Why was Shivraj Singh Chauhan Chief Minister for 18 years?
Raja as DMK president, Dalit. Ye Raja should be the DMK president.
Okay.
Ye Raja should be a Dalit. He should be a president.
One small counter.
That cadre,
One small
the cadre
counter.
should elect, brother.
Sir, one small counter.
Rajagopal.
Sir,
Rajagopal, the cadre should elect.
See,
No,
first of
cadre
all,
should
he is a
elect.
much senior
Whoever
person.
the
He must
cadre
at least
select
have
will be
the
president of
proper
DMK party.
honorific for people
Why is
who are
JP
older than
Nadda?
us.
Okay.
Why did he make JP Nadda the president?
Okay, 1 minute. That's every party's call to
Why is
make a
JP
person the
Nadda
president. Once again,
president
let's
of
not
the
get into
party
that.
for so many
But
years?
quick response, Shehzad, we'll go across to Vivek. Yeah.
See, he has said that because the language and the culture is different. So is he now accepting that his ally Congress party disregarded the culture and language of South Indian states? And if so, then why are they in alliance with Congress, which is anti-language, anti-culture of South?
I'm going to come to that point.
Point two,
Yeah.
Mr. Dharan has said that it should happen in Chennai, the next session. Somebody from Andhra will say it should happen in Andhra. Somebody will say Telangana. Somebody will say Karnataka. Then who should we choose? Or should we do one in every state? Please ask him.
Now, in fact, Deepak Reddy can respond to that. Deepak Reddy, would you want that session to happen in Andhra, or are you okay with it happening in neighboring Tamil Nadu? Is there going to be a competitive politics if it does happen? I mean, it's all hypothetical at the moment, but would you like to jump into that?
Yeah, Madhav, if you look at history, right from the British days, in 1860 they had a British residency in Hyderabad, only because it was a central and a safe place. So similarly, on security grounds also, we can think about a second capital in the south, because in a safer place, that should not be a bad idea. But some of the DMK spokespersons and some of their people, the argument is quite shocking to me, because they don't talk in the terms as India as a larger country. They always talk about Tamil Nadu, and they have a certain degree of complex, I feel. What I want to ask the DMK gentlemen is, how do we exactly classify DMK? Do I call it a private limited company or a family-run enterprise? Which would be a closer statement to that? I would like to know.
Okay. Dhanidharan, you want to respond to that?
Sir, it's again baffling. What about the party he comes from? The DMK is the only party that conducts the elections. We have elections. Our elections were held last year. The cadre selected the president. Why are you? I don't know. Why are people speaking about this with something that's very illogical?
Okay.
It's because the cadres happen to choose our leader, who happens to be the son of Kalaniar. Why do you call it as a family party? It's a very cadre-driven party. The only cadre-driven party in the country is DMK. Whatever people can say.
Okay.
How was JP Nadda selected in BJP?
Okay. There are many questions. I think we're veering away from the topic of the debate. Let me bring it back. Let me bring it back, gentlemen. I think we've veered far off the topic. Vivek Salas, will you be okay? Will you be in agreement for a session to be held in the south of India or other parts of India?
No,
Do you think
I
this
think-
decentralization of parliament is important?
No, I don't agree with that at all. Definitely Delhi's pollution is very threatening, but that could not be a cause that the parliament should be shifted elsewhere. And you can see right now on your show that there is still a controversy where the capital should be, whether it should be in Chennai or whether it should be in Andhra or Karnataka.
the people of the South India, the respected people of South India should decide first. Then only it can happen, and it will have an immense, burden on the economy of India. Definitely, we need a huge amount of money power to shift the capital, and it will take a lot of time as well. I think the YSR MP looks quite young. He has written a letter to the Honorable Prime Minister. I think he should have asked some other burning questions in India as to why the dollar is almost touching 85, or unemployment is incredibly at 9.2%, or inflation rate has gone up to 6.2%, and the GDP has fallen to 5.4%. These are the questions the MPs should have asked the Prime Minister, and the Bharatiya Janata Party should have replied on that.
Okay.
There are other matters also, like farmers, like peace and harmony of the country. And it's very incredible that what happened in Varanasi today, because I come from Uttar Pradesh, I should talk and tell the viewers about it. There's a college in Varanasi which is known as the UP College. And you know what the students are doing there? The students are protesting and demanding that the mosque inside the UP college should be demolished. That is what is happening to the peace and harmony of the country.
Okay, very important
issue. Very
harmful. Very important issue, but allow me to please conduct this debate. It's on a very specific point, and a point that we don't very often discuss. But let me quickly take you through another important factor, because we're talking about representation. At the end of the day, Parliament has to represent particular states. What is the formula in which they are actually represented? There is the issue of delimitation, which is going to come up in. But apart from delimitation, there's also the larger issue of proportional representation in terms of fertility rates. Andhra Pradesh at 1.7, Telangana at 1.8, Tamil Nadu 1.8, Kerala at 1.8, and Karnataka at 1.7. And also, of course, if I can bring you through the next slide very quickly, let's look at delimitation. And this is, of course, one of the aspects of how delimitation could potentially impact. The three biggest gainers would be UP, Bihar, and Rajasthan. 80 to 91, 40 to 50, 25 to 31, and therefore the net gain in terms of seats is there before us. This is as far as one particular scenario of redistribution of the existing seats. Let's look at the next particular scenario as this particular case is concerned. And this is, of course, the biggest losers. And this is, of course, Tamil Nadu, Andhra plus Telangana's total number of seats. Of course, it was undivided Andhra Pradesh at one point of time, Kerala and Karnataka amongst those states which would be losers because of the proportional representation of their respective populations. This is scenario one, of course, if the existing number of seats is changed as far as the proportional population. But we've seen a bigger parliament, and this scenario two is the more likely scenario if delimitation does happen, because the total number of seats could be projected to be increased to 848, where existing states keep their number of seats, but states such as UP, which have a bigger representation, the number of seats goes up from 80 to 143, Bihar from 40 to 79, Rajasthan from 25 to 50, and therefore you can look at the total amount of gain as far as these particular states are concerned. Let's look at the losers in scenario two. It would similarly be Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka as well. In fact, Andhra plus Telangana. And look at the number of seats. The number of seats would potentially rise for Tamil Nadu from 39 to 49. For Andhra plus Telangana from 42 to 54, Kerala remains at 20, Karnataka from 28 to 41. So there is a marginal rise over here in some of the states as well, but some states such as Kerala would in fact continue to remain the same. Let me take this across. Mr. Pullarao, do you think that this is a fair redistribution? Because the arguments of South states has been that we are going to negatively suffer for being able to control our population better for a series of decades.
Absolutely. This is a subject which is very sensitive, and it will be very much amplified into a very, very unnecessary conspiracy theories and all that. We had a very good choice during the emergency. One of the good things passed was they froze the number, irrespective of the state's population and other things. I think, we are a country, there's a lot of mobility in India. Populations are moving to urban areas. There's still an unsettled population situation in India. But some of the population growth has been not because of natural growth, because of movement of people also. Therefore, I think on one occasion the Prime Minister in some context said that, you want for person, you want haq per population, but not for population and elections. So I think it is time the government makes a conciliatory statement that there won't be major changes. Now, when you increase it from 540 to 860, though some of the states retain their seats, like Kerala, it actually means they have lost more in the proportion of it. It's a very touchy subject, and all other things will be spoiled, the women's reservation, all of that. I think government should let things be as they are, leave things as they are.
Okay, I'm going to come to you in just a minute. I want Vivek Salas to respond. Vivek Salas, what's likely to be the biggest scenario in this? Because he says it's a touchy situation. There are states that are worried about their proportional representation. Of course, SP based in Uttar Pradesh is perhaps going to be the biggest gainer any which way you look at it because of the rising population. But what would your response be to those states which say that, look here, we have controlled our population better, but we are being penalized for it?
It's not that we are advocating only Uttar Pradesh. You know, as the fellow panelist said, that Kerala is going to be the biggest loser because, you know, the 20 seats will remain as 20 and UP will go to 143 out from 80. Okay, definitely the Samajwadi Party will be a gainer because it's a UP-based party. But I think this will create a controversy and a drift between the South and North India, definitely. It might have some repercussions which we are unaware of.
What's the solution then?
Solution is to keep whatever is existing at the moment. Just keep it as it is.
But delimitation is important. The government has said time and again that delimitation is important.
I want to congratulate you heartily. Tell me why.
Why?
Why? Because ये रोज जितनी आबादी उतना हक करते हैं, आज उन्होंने प्रिंसिपल को नकार दिया. जितनी आबादी उतने हक वाले आज कह रहे no, not for delimitation, not for delimitation. First, secondly, no, now let me complete, sir. Let me complete. I like your smile, but it is good when it is a silent smile. Secondly, look, Madhav, I not only come on Times Now debates, I read Economic Times also. September 2023, read the Economic Times story. The center is very cognizant of the sensitivities in this issue, also the other considerations. We cannot penalize any state for implementing the family policy or family planning. Also, but South India and South Indian states will realize that they have also got several other advantages which North states have not got. So having said that, all the concerns will be taken together, and the delimitation is not done by Modi and Amit Shah. It is done by an independent commission. It is done as per the constitution. It is done as per an act of parliament. So every concern will be taken on board. But I want to ask now one question to Mr. Vivek Salas. Yes. Vivek Salas, jitni abadi utna hak, right principle or wrong principle? You decide with DMK because you have just disagreed on the parliament being in a different city, in a different state. Now you all agree on this principle. You agree with it or don't agree?
Parliament being on different states and 2 parliaments and 2 capitals looks illogical. Definitely.
Illogical?
Yes.
Sir, DMK ji, why are you with him?
Your alliance partner. Salam Dharnedran. Your alliance partner, Samajwadi Party, says it's illogical. But on delimitation also there could be potential differences. Your response?
Sir, I think we work out on our differences. Even within the ND alliance, there are differences. Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar are not in concurrence with the BJP on most matters. But leave all that. I will tell you this. I have written about half a dozen articles on delimitation. One as a lead article for the Hindu, one for the Vaya, and one for CNN News 18 edit page. So the problem is democracy, right, is not about winning election, but also having legitimacy of the people. Already the problem with our democracy is we have a first past the poll system, majoritarian system, which does not work very well for a diverse country like India, which is why BJP with 32% of the vote share was able to have 55% of the MPs in the parliament. And they were able to make bills for all over the country. For example, for Tamil Nadu and Kerala, where they don't have representation. So our voice has not been heard for the last 11 years in the parliament.
No, but
so
you have won several elections.
Will reduce.
Yeah, but you have, see, my point is, first past the postal system, you may have issues, it may not be a perfect system, but that's the system with which you have come to power many times.
No, sir. No, yes, sir. We have come to power. We don't come to power. I'm not talking about winning or losing. I am talking for the betterment of the country. Don't interrupt, Mr. Rajagopal. Yeah, I'm not talking about winning, losing elections, sir. I am talking about what is good for the country.
Okay, I think he's asking you.
Party to Vajpayee government, Manmohan Singh government.
Yeah.
Inder Kumar
about a decade and a half, 17 years. One by one. I'll put that question across to him. I'll put that question. Yeah, I'll put that question. That is right. The question he's asking you is, what did you do when you were at the center? These are all laudable ideas. Did you implement them? Why didn't you implement them when you were at the center? That's his question to you.
Sir, no. See, what I'm trying to say is, let me complete. First, what I'm trying to say, delimitation, if it will come based on the 2026 census. The reason why the BJP delayed the census was also because they wanted to undertake delimitation. Otherwise, census should have been done in 2021, and the next census would have taken in 31, and delimitation would happen only after 31. That is, let me complete. So another most important point is that the representation from southern states in the parliament is now 25%. If delimitation will happen, it will reduce to 16%. Even now, BJP in the Hindi belt in 2014 and 2019 election, out of the 250 seats, they won about 235. That is 40% of their parliamentarians, 90% of the parliamentarians came from handful of states. If delimitation will happen, the number of seats in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar will double. BJP or Madhya Pradesh will double, Rajasthan will double, where BJP has been doing well by creating communal issues. So what they will do is, they will not hear us. Only by winning 5-6 states, BJP will be able to rule. Which means people from all over.
Very important point. I have to get the BJP spokesperson on this. He is making
people from all over India will be left out.
Sir, he has asked a question for BJP to respond.
People in West Bengal will be left out. People in Nagaland will be left out. People in even in Himachal Pradesh will be left out.
Very important point you've made. Let the BJP spokesperson respond.
I haven't seen someone
May I respond?
I haven't seen
May I
anyone
respond, sir, this is not the right way. May I respond?
Yeah, Shehzad.
First of all, let us take the last two general elections, 2019 and 2024. 2019, let's take for instance. Out of the 130 seats of South India, how many DMK had? We had, in fact, more seats from South India than DMK had, and they claim to be party of South. So don't say you are the sole representative. Where is your presence in Telangana? Where is your presence in Kerala? Where is your presence in Andhra? BJP has presence in all these states. Point number one. Point number two, I'll give you some facts. How the UPA treated the South. Karnataka, funds in 10 years, 2004 to 14, 81,000 crores. Funds given by Modi, 2,95,000 crores. To Tamil Nadu, 94,000 crores under UPA, 2,77,000 crores now. Telangana, full Andhra got just 2 lakh crores. Today, Telangana in 9 years has got 2.5 lakh crores. Kerala, 46,000 crores under UPA, 1,50,000 crores today. So I am saying that we have been more than fair because we think every state is important. There used to be only 2 languages for CAPF examinations, Hindi and English. Today, there are 13 regional languages in which it is conducted. NEP, we have ensured that the mother tongue gets the precedence. These things were not done by the Congress party, and first past the post system, so you also win by first past the post system only. You are not winning because of some other system. So I think this is just illogical, and it is also hypocritical on the part of DMK to make this argument.
Okay, there are many hands going on, but I'm just coming to Mr. Rajgopal. I want Pankaj to come in on this point because he makes a point that this delimitation, if it happens, will benefit the BJP electorally. Is that a valid concern? And is it being done with that in mind, or the fact that it is a constitutional provision and it happens from time to time, it happens at the level of the state, it has to eventually happen at the level of the center, would be the argument from the BJP side?
So he is right. That is why BJP government wants to go ahead with delimitation. Because in northern states, they will be having more seats and they will be having more opportunity to win more and more seats. And South, since BJP's presence in South is, almost nil. So they want delimitation so that UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan can get more and more number of seats. Delimitation is a very touchy and tricky subject. And in my opinion, there should be a freeze, at least for 25 years, for any sort of delimitation.
Okay, freeze delimitation for 25 years. You agree with him?
Delimitation, Pankaj says, after abrogation of 370, Jammu Kashmir went for delimitation. Who is ruling out? That is one point. Second, during delimitation, migration problem, digitalization problem will come, Madhav. During Corona, we held Parliament online. Why can't we have that? Why should we transfer the capital or Parliament? We should have that. Second thing, my important thing, artificial intelligence in another 10 years, 6G in another 10 years. Why should we go after only the state capitals? We should have it in Delhi, and the electronic and digitalization will definitely remove all these barriers.
Okay, one by one. Many hands going on. Yeah.
Supreme Court has said that on delimitation, the commission should be appointed urgently, one should move. And after delimitation, women reservation can be done. He does not want women reservation. That's why he's saying don't have delimitation. This is their true anti-women face. It is written in the Nari Shakti Mandana Adhiniyam that after delimitation, women reservation will come. So their anti-women stand has been exposed. Women should understand.
You have to follow the court reservation.
They don't want women reservation for 25 years.
You can have women reservation without delimitation.
How?
Who stops you?
It's in the Act.
Who stops you?
It's in the Act.
Change the Act. You have changed so many acts.
Don't link delimitation with the BJP. He says, look at Jammu Kashmir. Are the demographics different in state to state? Of course, they are different from every region and, of course, in every state. But can there be a one-size-fits-all formula?
It's not a question of the government in the states. I agree with him. Governments in the states change. Overall picture. What has happened? Why did we have the 42nd Amendment during emergency? Then I think it was the 84th Constitutional Amendment. This should continue. This country is only 75 years democratically. And Therefore, you can freeze the number of seats, but do delimitation. That is the solution now. I think we have enough problems not to get into new menus and other
Okay.
things.
Deepak Reddy, we have enough problems without getting into newer venues. Respond to Mr. Pullarao.
Yes, Madhav, I would like to show this photo of Chandrababu Naidu ji sitting with the entire team the other day. This is an absolute important issue for people of the South. Leaving politics aside, if you look at it, right from 80s, the southern states have meticulously followed the family planning and got down the population. Chandrababu Naidu ji is absolutely concerned, and he's already constituted a team to study the China and Japan model and what are the steps which are needed to increase the population. Today, the fertility rate in Andhra is the lowest in South. It's fallen to 1.7, whereas the Bihar's rate is at 3%. So what is important here is, if you look at the age demographics also, between 15 to 59, 67% are there. And after 60 plus, it's only 12.4. So in the coming days, if the population of the southern states is not increased in the same proportion, there would be serious demographic issues after another 10, 15 or 20 years.
Okay.
So what is important here is we paid a big price and we followed the family planning system and we fell and as per the national policy. So why should we pay the price if delimitation happens? Why should we bear the brunt? So this is an issue where the southern states are absolutely very concerned and sensitive. Like Rajasthan, it's literally doubling. So we would be getting only 29% increase in our representation.
Okay.
So this is one aspect. All the southern states are absolutely serious, and we don't want our political representation reduced in the coming days.
Okay, is this borne out by data? Let's take a quick look at some of the data which actually talks about, the distribution as far as speakers as per language is concerned, and of course states being built upon the linguistic division, as we very well know. This is of course as far as the percentage of language speakers in 1971 as compared with 2011 as far as the census data is concerned. 37% was Hindi, it has gone up to 43.6%. Bengali 8.2 goes down to 8.0. Marathi 7.6 down to 6.9. Telugu 8.2 down to 6.7. Tamil 6.9 down to 5.7. Gujarati 4.7 down to 4.6. Kannada 4.0 down to 3.6. Malayalam 4.0 down to 2.9. These are data that are there. It's very much as far as our system is concerned. Let's also take a quick look at when this issue came up in Parliament as far as Hindi imposition is concerned, what Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman had to say to the opposition benches.
मैं ऐसे स्टेट से आ रही हूं जहां हिंदी पढ़ना गुनाह लगता है, इसीलिए बचपन से हिंदी पढ़ने का मुझे रोका गया। उधर आपका झगड़ा रखो, मेरे से नहीं। झगड़ा आपका उनसे होना चाहिए जो हिंदी पढ़ने में आपत्ति बोलते हैं, आपत्ति मानते हैं हिंदी, उनसे झगड़ा करो भाई, मेरे से क्या कर रहे हो? They are opposed to imposing Hindi. Very well, I appreciate that. No one should impose anybody anything. And that is why Honorable Prime Minister was the first Prime Minister in this country who said higher education, whether it is in engineering, medical, should also happen in regional languages. I speak from my lived experience. When even going to learn Hindi aside from my school, I was mocked in the streets. And who does that? Because of the political support which is being given in that state. Learning Hindi, learning Sanskrit are treated and perceived as learning some other fellow's language.
Mr. Rajgopal, important issue in terms of Hindi speakers and their population as opposed to other languages, but at the same time the issue of Hindi imposition continues to be an issue and it continues to resonate in Parliament.
What Madam Nirmala Sitharaman said is absolutely right. I was also driven out from Tamil Nadu because of this reason. 1967 onwards, the IAS, IPS officers they denigrated because of the anti-Hindi policy. Apart from that, Madhav, today I am telling you, the migration from North India, Bihar, Jharkhand, Sikkim, Assam, or going to Tamil Nadu. What will be the answer of DMK? In another two terms, in 2031 or 2026, you will have two North Indians as MLA in Tamil Nadu. Wherever you go to Tamil Nadu, only Hindi speaking. I am ashamed of that. Why should DMK go after this type of Hindi? Because they are also diluting. They adopted soft Hindutva. They did for Velmurugan, function. Now they are DMK MPs and MLAs have run colleges after colleges. They impose CBSE. They want Hindi. But for others, no Hindi, no needs.
Okay.
This type of double standard, hypocrisy of DMK should be exposed. Madam Nirmala Sitharaman did the right thing.
Dharnidharan, respond to that. This is the hypocrisy of DMK. Hindi speaking is opposed for political reasons, but when it comes to actually what's happening on ground, whether it's the leaders, colleges which have CBSE in their courses, or those who are actually doing the work, all doing work.
Tamil Nadu in the handloom industry.
Okay, Dharnidharan, respond to that. He says this is hypocrisy. Mr. Rajgopal says this is hypocrisy. Dharnidharan, one moment.
Chief Secretary is North Indian. Tamil Nadu DGP is a North Indian.
Dharnidharan.
I think it is not hypocrisy, but it is lack of understanding of DMK's ideology. If he wants, I can also tell it to him in Tamil Nadu. DMK as a party has never been against Hindi or any language. We are only against imposition. Even in the 1980s in Tamil Nadu or 1990s in Tamil Nadu, more than 2 lakh people used to write the Hindi Samaj exam, one of the highest for a non-Hindi speaking state. But what we have been against is that, against imposition of Hindi. There have been private schools in Tamil Nadu, all along French, German, Telugu, Hindi, Malayalam has been offered as second languages. Whoever wants to choose them can choose. So there was, even Tamil has not been imposed in private schools in Tamil Nadu. That has been the stance ever since independence in India. Sorry, ever since independence in Tamil Nadu. This has been the stance. I think, and for Nirmala Sitharaman saying, people are against me if I speak in Hindi in Tamil Nadu, is an anecdote, but nothing like that. See, I never studied Hindi in school. I only studied Tamil in my second language. But I went to Bhopal to study my engineering. I immediately picked up Hindi in 3 months. Then I was in Austria for about 2 years. I picked up German. I was in Paris for a few years. I picked up French. But that is what we as Tamils are. Wherever we go, we adapt. Right now, to teach to the migrant laborers in Tamil Nadu, we have now started a program where an app could be downloaded and all the migrant workers will be taught Tamil.
Okay, this is a sensitive issue, but repeatedly, Shehzad, his party's leaders have in the past made comments that schemes are being implemented in Hindi language only, that there are leaders talking about Hindi being the national language from your party. They are saying this is all examples, according to them, of Hindi imposition.
First of all, let me tell you that the BJP has never said that Hindi is national language. We have always said that Hindi is national feeling, not national language. We have official languages. You know who said Hindi should be national language? Mr. Nehru and his party. In fact, the Congress party officially, and even Mahatma Gandhi wanted to make it a national language. They wanted English to be replaced by it. Hindi Divas was started by them. Official Languages Act and promotion of Hindi started by them. They, in fact, in 2011, when they were in government with Mr. Chidambaram, Minister of Home, signed a proposal that ads of central government should go in Hindi, railway, entire announcement should be in Hindi, and all these things should be done in Hindi. Point number one. Point number two, they said, we don't have any kind of objection towards Hindi. And I want the stand of Mr. Vivek Silas. Dayanidhi Maran, Hindi speakers are toilet cleaners. R.S. Bharti, North Indians are fools. Senthil Kumar, Gaumutra Rajya for Uttar Pradesh. Pani Puri sellers hai ye log. Then Mr. Channi and Rahul Gandhi had also mocked North India, and D.K. Shivkumar's brother, in fact, wanted North and South to be completely alag because Hindi is spoken in the North, and he feels that they are getting too many resources. So this is the kind of hatred they have had towards Hindi, and it is these statements that they have made. If they have not with these statements, what action did they take? Finally, I want to ask one question to Mr. Dharnidharan. He is saying that, look, we are not against Hindi. Mr. Stalin's son, Udaynidhi, has said that people are trying to impose Hindi, and he has demanded Tamil names for children. I want to ask Mr. Dharnidharan, is Stalin a Tamil name? Is Stalin, Stalin a Tamil name?
Dharnidharan.
It's a Russian name.
Oh, it's a Russian name.
Dharnidharan.
No, I'm coming. See, I'll come.
Which?
I'll see. I think he'll give me a minute to give a detailed reply. See, first and the foremost, this matter has been discussed in detail. I'll tell you this. In Tamil Nadu, we only want Tamil, we are not against Hindi. But with regards to name, what Mr. Udaynidhi Stalin said was, I'll reiterate. He said, I suggest or recommend you to have Tamil names. He never said you should only have Tamil names. He said, I suggest or recommend. It's up to you. You can have your names in English, French, whatever, your children. But I recommend and suggest. That's all. And you know what? When Poonawalla spoke, he said, Hindi is the symbol of India. I don't think it's a symbol.
May I quote his statement?
Let him complete. Yeah.
I have the quote. Pardon?
Let me quote the statement. If you tell me if it's right or wrong.
Again tell
One second.
You mentioned
very quickly. We have other speakers also. Please, very quickly.
Udaynidhi Stalin, in a wheel attack on BJP, said they are trying to impose.
I can't hear you properly.
They are trying to impose Hindi through the new education policy. He said new parents must come up with beautiful Tamil names for children because many are attempting to impose Hindi on Tamil.
I know,
so
I know,
now
I
Stalin
was
should be
there at the
changed.
event. No,
What
no, no,
name
no,
should we
see,
keep for Mr.
Madhav.
Stalin?
Okay. Dhanidharan.
What? No, wait, I'll reply. See,
Go ahead.
I was there at that event. He spoke in Tamil. என்று நான் விரும்புகிறேன். He said, தமிழில் பெயர் வைக்க வேண்டும் என்று நான் விரும்புகிறேன். நான் உங்களுக்கு வலியுறுத்துகிறேன். He said, I request that you may or you shall name them in Tamil. He can go and read it in Tamil, ask his friends in Tamil who knows Tamil to translate to also. That's what it translates to. And I think a lot of unnecessary things were said, right? Which are all false. Even our leader M.K. Stalin as well as
Okay.
Stalin have said we are only against imposition. And,
Okay.
and secondly,
Okay.
foremost, Amit Shah himself, you know what did he say?
Yeah. I think that is the point. Once again, let me just bring in many hands going up.
Hindi should be the language in union ministries.
Yeah, one second. Do you agree with this? Because the point is that there are some insensitive comments being made by DMK leaders, Mr. Ponmodi's Pani Puri seller, Gaumutra states. All these are comments that are coming from your alliance partner. Do you agree with those?
I think Mr. Rajgopalan has made a very valid and a very threatening statement right now. What he said that people from UP, Assam, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh are going to Tamil Nadu for for the jobs. And fortunately, or even Bihar, fortunately or unfortunately, all these states whose name was taken are ruled by the Bharatiya Janata Party. And surprisingly, we find out that the employment rate is so low in these states where Bharatiya Janata Party is ruling. That's why the people of these states have to go to Tamil Nadu to search for the jobs. And as far as the finance minister is concerned, she can just impose taxes on the people of India. We are hearing that the GST is going to be about 35% on 21st of December for certain products. And when you ask the question, instead of
what does that have to do with Hindi?
instead of talking about boosting the economy, please Mr. Rajgopalan, let me complete. Instead of boosting the economy and talking about how the economy of India will go up, she says, if asked about inflation, she says, मैं तो लहसुन और प्याज खाती नहीं, मुझे क्या पता कि लहसुन और
going
प्याज
after BJP states.
What is
that
that?
goes the poor employment standards. That's his charge. Respond.
I just have one very specific question for Vivek Silas. Dayanidhi Maran, Hindi speakers from UP Bihar come to clean toilets. Do you agree or disagree?
No, I don't think this is a valid statement.
So what is the action taken on them? And
action should be taken by the government of UP and Bihar as to why the people are going to
he's calling a person of another state a toilet cleaner.
Language is also.
Why don't you create jobs in your own
Yeah,
state?
but
What are you
let
doing?
me bring in Pankaj on one point. Pankaj, the point is this, that we saw the anti-Hindi agitation. BJP was nowhere close to power. No other political party was close to power. It was the Congress. Can Congress really take the moral high ground when it comes to this issue as far as language is concerned?
No, but Congress never tried to impose Hindi on any state.
DMK opposed it.
No.
DMK opposed it.
Who was imposing?
The central government, that was the whole. What was the genesis of the anti-India agitation? What was the genesis of the anti-India agitation?
Congress
it was the Congress government's actions that angered the DMK.
As Shehzad said that Hindi is a national feeling. It's a national feeling. Nobody tried to impose it.
Then why Nehru formula? Why Nehru formula? Two-language formula then?
Promoting Hindi.
No Hindi. Why should he
Promoting
say that?
Hindi is a different thing. Imposing Hindi is a different thing.
Is that how it's perceived in Tamil Nadu?
I agree with Mr. Dharanidharan. There is no anti-Hindi imposition, that kind of thing. I went to schools, Tamil Nadu, college in Tamil Nadu. It's not at all.
What was the agitation against? Who was the anti-Hindi agitation against?
Anti-Hindi agitation was against the Congress imposition.
That's the point.
Lal Bahadur Shastri.
That's the point.
We were in school then in Tamil Nadu. It was Lal Bahadur Shastri.
They will not come to power. Congress in Tamil Nadu. Khatam ho gaya. Decimate ho gaya.
25th, I think 64, they brought in some circular. The agitation started.
All right. We'll have to leave it there. It's been a very interesting discussion, a very different political discussion than the ones we normally have. But I'd like to thank all our panelists for joining us. Shehzad Poonawalla, Deepak Reddy, R. Rajgopalan, Salem Dhanidharan, Dr. Pula Rao, Pankaj Sharma, Vivek Silas. Thanks so much for joining us on this edition of the National Debate.